So I didn't realize that's what you're doing, but please make sure you have multiple pencils sharpened for the day. I hate the sound of the pencil sharpener. It's just me. I can't help it. It hurts my head. So that's why I don't let you sharpen in class, because I need to focus on it too. So make sure you're right. And I think I said this a couple times last week, but I'm not really helping you with your do nows or exit tickets now, because soon you're gonna have to be doing this all by yourself, because mom and dad, grandma, grandpa, and uncle, brother, sister can't help you with your homework anymore. Because it gets really, really tough. So you gotta learn how to read that stuff on your own. I guess since I let Reese do it, go ahead and inform. Yeah, I know, right? You gotta make sure you learn how to read the top part, because that's a very simple way to tell you how to do it. Oh, I hate that sound. All right, time is up. Put it in the middle. Guess what? The PowerPoint works again. There we go. Today's lesson is titled Arithmetic with Units of Measure. So that's like 12 inches, 3 feet, something, something, something. And the I can stand for today is I can use arithmetic to solve for units of measure. Say that with me. I can use arithmetic to solve for units of measure. This is going to be this. I like this lesson a lot because it makes it a little bit simpler to me. Because I hate measurements. You guys know that's like Mr. Stevens' least favorite part of math is the measurements and conversions and all that stuff. Plus, I'm thinking about adding on to my house, so I need to kind of know how to measure stuff and like, which means I'm gonna have to knock out one wall. I'll have you guys all come for a field trip. You guys can destroy a wall of my house. I'm joking. I would never let you do that. But we're gonna make it kind of simple and use arithmetic. What is arithmetic? Kingston? It's math. That's arithmetic is math. It's A plus B equals C. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Arithmetic just means math. You're just doing a math problem. It's not like arithmetic is not the number 3, but arithmetic is 1 plus 2 equals 3. Does that make sense? So they're going to give you measurements, do some conversion, and then you're going to either add, subtract, multiply, or divide. I think there's at least 4 examples today. Kingston, question before we go.
So,
yes, it's like solution. So this is arithmetic, all of it. This is called the answer, the solution, but the whole thing is arithmetic. The whole problem. London. All right, example 1. We got 2 feet plus 12 inches. I know I'm boring, but I hurt my feelings. So you got 2 feet plus 12 inches. It tells you to add. How do you add that? What do you have to do first? Oh my goodness, what do you do? I think there's actually 2 ways to do this. Destiny? What? Perfect. That is one way. So I'm going to put the number 1 here, big number. Option 1, you take 2 feet plus, sorry, I don't like, why did I give us feet? Plus 12 inches equals how many feet? How many inches are in a foot? How many inches? How many? Whatever. Come on, Dave. Huh? You said 30? Not 30. Yes. Not 11.
Okay.
Not 12. You got 12 inches. It's going to turn into how many feet? Remember, inches are going to be, inches are smaller, so the foot number has to be smaller than the inch number because We're talking about smaller to bigger. Kingston? Yeah, 1. Because how many inches are in a foot? 12 inches. So that equals 1. So now you're going to add the 2 feet plus the 1 foot, which equals how many feet? Antoine?
3 feet.
There you go. 3 feet. Option 2. Option 2. What can you do, Kingston?
Convert the 2 feet into inches.
Correct. So you got 2 feet equal how many inches? How many in London?
24.
Is London Holland's, gotta be careful when I say these things, London Holland's crazy or is she just right? Why did she say 20? Where in the world did she get 24? We have a 2, a 12. Where did she get the 24 from? Asia? Antoine?
She added 12 to 20.
Right, because you got 2 feet. How many inches are in a foot, class?
12.
How many inches are in a foot, class?
12.
And since you have 2, 12 plus 12 equals 24 plus the 12 inches. So just like before, let's go this. So you're going to take this 12 inches plus, the 24 inches plus the 12 inches. How many inches do you have? Mari?
6 inches.
Correct. Which you know that equals 3 feet because if you took 36 divided by 12, you get 3 feet. Those are the 2 answer options. On your exit ticket, I think on some of your assignment questions, it will say convert to a foot, convert to an inch. Read that part, because if it says convert to an inch and you put 3 feet down, you're wrong. They didn't ask for feet. They don't want your smelly feet or your smelly feet. They wanted the inches. Okay. So what do you guys have to do? Read the question. Now, any questions? Kingston?
I think it's kind of weird how when it says 2 feet, 2 feet converted is 24 inches, and 36 converted is 3.
Well, think about it this way. When you're measuring something, let's say something really, really long. Do you want to say it is 2 trillion, 5 billion, something, something, point, something, 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 something? Do you want to say that huge, ginormous number? No, you just want to say it's 3 feet. You don't want to say it's this. So that's why it goes smaller, because it's like saying, well, you should know that 3 feet is longer than inches. Instead of saying the large inch number, you just say the short foot number. Because we're lazy. Everyone's lazy. Antoine's lazy. Miera's lazy. Everyone's lazy. We don't want to write that huge, ginormous inch number. We just want to write the short foot number. All right? Moving on. I think the next one is subtraction. Nope, this one's multiply. All right, this one gets confusing because your labels matter. Like they really do. If you put the wrong label, everything is off. Right, Asia? You need to stand up for a second, honey? Yeah, you can go stand up there, or if you need to go stand in the back and stretch a little bit. That's perfectly fine. What's going to happen is you're going to take the 6 feet times the 6 feet, and essentially all you're doing is multiplying. So what's 6 times 4? Naraya? It is 24. Now, you got that from 6 times 4 equals 24. But this is the confusing part. It's multiplication, so the labels do matter. So you got feet times the feet. So what would your label be? It won't just be foot, but it would be Kingston?
Square.
Correct. So you're going to take both of these put together. you got 24 feet square. Because remember, when you're multiplying, you're not talking about the individual, you're talking about a group. So if I said there's 24 feet in my living room, when I should have multiplied, when I multiply my living room space, the dimensions, and I just put down foot, that's going to be really wrong because my living room is like super small and narrow. But square means that I can fit like, say, 24 people inside that room space at a time. There's individual cubes like you see on the floor right here. If you want to find how many cubes are on the floor, go ahead. Or what you could do is you could count the side, this side, and this side, multiply them together, and put square behind them, and then you know. London.
2 stands for square too?
Yep, because a square is two-dimensional, meaning it's flat. If it's a cube, you put a 3 because that's three-dimensional. That means you can like hold it in your hand and not be flat. Kingston?
You ever multiply
Multiply what?
the feet?
If you were to do that, if you want to do that, you can. So you're going to take not 24 times 2, but 24 times what? When you square. Do you multiply by 2 or do you multiply by the number itself? 7? Right, so 24 times 24, that's a bigger number than just 24 foot square. Like I said, Kingston, we're lazy. Okay? So if you want the simple version of this, multiply the numbers, put the label behind it, then square it. Capiche? Kingston, you asked really good questions. Okay, now we got 25 miles squared divided by 5 miles squared. What this looks like, if you were to dissect it, would be 25 times a mile times a mile divided by 5 times a mile. Okay. First of all, let's just do the number first, because that's the easiest. What's 25 divided by 5, Antoine?
5.
Correct. Now we have those labels, and we're dividing. When you have a division problem with the labels, you're going to have to cross one out for one. So you're going to have to take one from the top, since there's one on the bottom, and cross them out. What are you left over with? What are you left over with? Reese? Yeah, just 1 mile, which means you just put a mile. You don't square it. You don't square it at all. Because you just crossed one out. Now there's now 2 miles on the top. There's none on the bottom. Now it's just 5 miles. London.
Is there a different way to do this or just that?
If you're super, super smart, you could literally just do this all in your head because 25 divided by 5, you just put a mile behind it. No, but there's really no other way. This is the best way to do it, and this is how I want to see your work because that shows you. It really does show you how to put your answer together. Because what's out left over? 5 and 1 mile. Okay? Just like right here. All right, now this is where it gets a little different. Now we got 300 miles divided by 10 gallons, just like when you get in the car. So 300 times a mile over 10 times a gallon. All right, now the bottom, we always want to get to 0 or to 1 because anything over 1 is itself. So that's your goal. What's the magic number on the bottom? London? 1. Class, what's the magic number?
1.
What's the magic number?
1.
Okay, so how do we get 10 to become 1? London? Anyone else? How do we get 10 to become 1? Or what's 300 divided by 10? Destiny? What? You say 30? Yes. Make sure you speak up. I can't hear you over the mess. So what she just did, I bet, she just crossed out the zeros. She got 30 over 1. So 30. Now, what's our label? This is the key part of this lesson, is how to write your labels. Do they have any in common? No, one's miles, one's gallons. So Reese, how would you write that answer? Think about a car.
Is mile?
Not just miles. Asia?
30 miles per gallon.
Right. So think of it as a puzzle. You have 30 left over times the miles times the gallon. So you put them all together right there. Did you have to cross any out? No, because they didn't have any of the same. Labels really do matter, especially with this lesson. Any questions? Any questions? All right, let's try as a class A. It says 2 feet. Make sure you write this down on your paper. It says 2 feet minus 12 inches. It says write the difference in inches. So will your answer have feet or inches behind it? If it says write the difference in inches, will it have feet or inches behind it? All right. Right. So we need to find inches. So that means we have 2 feet minus 12 inches. What are we converting? Kingston?
2 feet.
Which is?
24 inches.
Correct. So A would be, so this is A, 24 inches minus 12 inches, which equals, Devin? 12 inches. Do I have to square it? Do I have to square it? No. Correct. Awesome. Because we're adding. You only do that if you multiply. Bish? Which brings us to B. 2 feet times 4 feet is what? Antoine?
8 feet.
You got the 8 part right. He's got the foot part right. What's missing though? Remember what I just said. Only with multiplying, you're going to have to add this. 8 feet blank. See, like the same people. I'm going to have to start giving out. William? Correct. Square. Okay. C. What is C? 12 centimeters squared divided by 3 centimeters. So what's 12 divided by 3? McKenna? What's 12 divided by 3? What's 12 divided by 3? McKenna, be listening because no one's going to tell you the answer. Then I want you to repeat what he says. Do you understand? What?
Yeah.
Okay. Noah. What's the answer? McKenna? 4. What do we do with the labels? It's centimeters squared over centimeters. So what would your label be? Monte. Since it's centimeters squared over centimeters, would it be centimeters square, centimeters, no label? What would it be? What? Correct. Why is it just centimeters? We're really stressing this because this is the entire lesson. Why is it just centimeters? Let's see. Kingston, London, Reese. Mari? Yeah, but you gotta remember like this. So there's centimeter, centimeter, over a centimeter. Cross one on top, one on bottom out. How many centimeters are you left over with? Just one. So your answer only has 1 centimeter. Any questions? London?
So say a problem like that says like 4 centimeters and 4 centimeters and 4 centimeters. But it says something about squares. And how would you write that? Yeah.
So you mean like if it's 4 centimeters squared over 4 centimeters?
Yeah, it's another square.
Like it's another square on the bottom?
Yeah, so it's 2 4 centimeter squares.
That's not gonna happen on your exit ticket. It's not gonna happen in your homework. If that's the case, honey, then they just, what did I say before? You cancel 1 out for 1. You just get this weird little imaginary 4, which never really happens and won't happen in your exit ticket. But since we're on this, how would you rewrite this? Asia? Well, you're right. 4 times centimeters divided by 4 times the centimeter. Okay. What do we do with the labels? What do we do with the labels? Kingston?
Plus 2 of the centimeter.
Yep. 1 on top, 1 on bottom. Leave the other one alone. Which means 4 divided by 4, Antoine?
1.
And then you only have 1 centimeter left over. You got 1. Any questions? Mark?
So here's like A, B, and C.